Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn about Kingdom Animalia. So we all are aware of general features of Kingdom Animalia as we have studied in the lower classes. They are all multicellular. That means they are made up of many number of cells. Okay, they are all eukaryotes. That means they have well-defined nucleus. A true nucleus is present in them. The meaning of true nucleus is in cell, the genetic material or chromatin material, or you can say DNA, is actually surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Okay. Apart from this, they also have membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria, then endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, etc. Okay. Unlike plants, in them chloroplast and cell wall both are absent. So as they don't have chloroplast, so obviously they cannot perform photosynthesis. Hence, mode of nutrition in them is heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means they actually depend on the organic materials prepared by other living organisms. They feed on other living organisms. Okay. So you have studied in previous videos the hierarchy of classification given by Carolus Linnaeus. Okay. So as per that hierarchy of classification, after kingdom comes phylum. Then phylum is further divided into subgroups like class, which is divided into order, family, genus, species, like this. Okay. So kingdom Animalia is also actually divided into 9 phylums. Okay. So how many phylums kingdom Animalia is divided into? Total 9 phylums. Okay, because kingdom Animalia consists of a large group of organisms. So it is actually divided into total 9 phylums, 9 subgroups. So the 9 phylums are: phylum 1 is known as Porifera. Okay, the next one is Coelenterata. Third one is Platyhelminthes. Fourth is Nematoda. Fifth, Annelida. Sixth, Arthropoda. Seventh, Mollusca. Eighth, Echinodermata. And ninth one is phylum Chordata. Okay, this phylum 2, Coelenterata, in some books you will also find phylum Cnidaria. It's also known as phylum Cnidaria. Then phylum 4, Nematoda, is also known as phylum Nemathelminthes. Fine. So all these 9 phylums you have to remember in this particular sequence only, because this sequence shows the evolution on earth, like which particular group of organisms were came into existence first. Okay, so you have to remember this particular sequence. Now out of these 9 phylums, first 8 phylum, that is phylum Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata, all these 8 phylums are invertebrates, and only the last phylum, that is phylum Chordata, belongs to vertebrates. Okay. Now, what is the difference between invertebrates and vertebrates? As you've already studied in your lower classes, you know the basic difference. In invertebrates, the internal skeleton, or you can say the backbone, is absent. So all these organisms, which comes in these 8 phylums, they don't have any internal skeleton or backbone. Okay. In them, only exoskeleton is present. But the last phylum, phylum Chordata, in them backbone is present. Okay, and internal skeleton is also present. So obviously we human beings, we belong to phylum 9, that is phylum Chordata. Okay, because in us backbone is present, and this backbone is also known as vertebral column. So in different organisms, this vertebral column is made up of many small bones. Okay, and it is present in different numbers in different organisms. For example, in human beings, in our body, there are total 33 there are total 33 small bones which join with each other and forms a vertebral column. Now, one single bone in this vertebral column is known as vertebrae. In this table, it's written here in the red color, vertebrae. So you have to remember this name. It's very important. Vertebrae. Okay. So vertebrae is nothing but one single bone present in the vertebral column of all vertebrates. Now the example of invertebrates, you're already aware, the first 8 phylums, like sponges, jellyfish, your earthworm, insects like ant, spiders. Okay, you have seen in your house. Okay, so all these are the example of invertebrates. Vertebrates include all your fish, reptiles, mammals, birds, okay, human beings. So we all are the part of vertebrates. Now out of these 9 phylums, as per your IGCSE syllabus, you only have to study about phylum 6, that is Arthropoda, and phylum 9, Chordata. Okay, so you have to only study about phylum 6, Arthropoda, and phylum 9, Chordata, right? So we will focus on only these two phylums. Now we'll begin with phylum Arthropoda. We'll start with phylum Arthropoda. Okay, so we are already aware that phylum Arthropoda, they belongs to invertebrates. Okay, they belong to invertebrates. Now, invertebrates means in them the internal skeleton or backbone is absent. In them only exoskeleton is present. Now, when we look into the meaning of this word arthropoda, the first word, that is, this arthro, the meaning of this word arthro is jointed. That means joint. Okay, and poda means legs or appendages. So the meaning of word arthropoda is jointed appendages. Okay, so you have to actually remember the general characteristics of all these arthropoda. That means all the members which comes under phylum Arthropoda, they have these four general characteristics. Okay, they share these four general characteristics. So first one is they are all invertebrates. Second one is they have segmented body. And in the right side in this picture, you can easily see this is head. Okay, then comes the thorax, and then comes this entire abdomen part. Fine. So all the members of phylum Arthropoda, they are all having segmented body. This is very important characteristic which you have to remember. The next one is they have presence of jointed appendages. Now you can see here, these are the legs. First pair of leg, then this is second pair of leg, and the last one is third pair of legs. Appendages means nothing but legs. Okay. So all the members of phylum Arthropoda, they have jointed appendages. And last one is presence of exoskeleton. So what are the three general features shared by all members of phylum Arthropoda? They have exoskeleton, they have jointed appendages, and they have segmented body. Okay, so you have to remember this. This is very important as per the exam point of view. Now, phylum Arthropoda is further divided into classes. Okay, so phylum Arthropoda is actually divided into four classes. Class Myriapod, class Insecta, class Arachnida, and class Crustaceans. So we will look into these classes one by one, and we'll also study about their general features. So first one is class Myriapod. Now in this particular picture, you can see clearly, okay, that the entire body of this this class Myriapod is segmented. Okay, the entire body of these two organisms is segmented. You have to actually compare all these four classes based on the body segments, presence or absence of antenna, then the number of jointed appendages, whether wings are present or not, and if it is present, how many pairs of wings are there, and then about the body segments. Fine. So you have to compare all four classes on these features. So first class is class Myriapod, and two examples of class Myriapod is given here. One is millipede and second one is centipede. For sure, all of you might have, come across millipede and centipede in your day-to-day life. Millipede you can easily see in garden soil. Okay, this look here. This one is a millipede, the dark brown or maroon color organism. The moment you touch this millipede, it will coil its body, and it will just coil and take round of its body. Okay, so this millipede actually in front it's having a rounded head, and look here, the entire body is segmented. So it's having only two parts, head and the trunk. And if you look clearly, in each segment of millipede, there are two pairs of jointed appendages. Two legs are here and two legs are there on the other side of the picture. Okay, so they have two pairs of jointed appendages in each segment, and one pair of short antenna is also present in the front. Same way, if you will see this centipede. Okay, so the centipede is having one pair of antenna, same like millipede. It's having a head and a trunk. The body is having head and trunk, and in each segment of centipede, one pair of jointed appendages is present. Okay, so what you have to remember in this is they have head and trunk in the body, then they have segmented body, and in each segment, one or two pairs of jointed appendages are present. Okay, then they have one pair of short antenna. Fine. I hope you don't have any doubt in this. The next is class Insecta. Okay, so in case of class Insecta, that means all insects, they have one or two pairs of wings. This point is very important. One or two pairs of wings. Now in this one or two pairs of wings, actually sometimes one pair of wing is vestigial. Vestigial means it is of no use in the insect's body. It's just present as such. For example, these vestigial organs in our body. We have this appendix connected to a large intestine in the body. So that appendix has no function in the body. It's just present as such because of evolution. Okay, so this is known as vestigial organ. Same way in eye towards the nose, here we have nictitating membrane. So that nictitating membrane is also not having any function in our eye. Okay, it's just present as such. So vestigial organs are those which are present as such, but they do not perform any function in our body. Oh, fine. So insect is having one or two pairs of wings. Okay, out of these wings, one pair of wing is vestigial. Then you have to remember this very carefully. They have one pair of antenna. How many pairs of antenna they have? They have one pair of antenna here. And if you look at the body, this yellow color small legs actually shows three pairs of jointed appendages. So you have to remember how many pairs of jointed appendages are present in class Insecta. They have three pairs of jointed appendages, one pair of antenna, okay, one or two pairs of wings, and their body is actually divided into segments. Now you can clearly see here they have head, okay, this is head, then this is known as thorax. It's labeled here, this is known as thorax, and this last one is abdomen. Okay, so Insecta actually represents the clear body segmentation: head, thorax, and abdomen. Because what happens in class Myriapod and then the next two classes, class Arachnida and class Crustacean, this head and thorax region, this head and neck region, okay, this head and neck, that is thorax region, is actually fused with each other, and that's known as cephalothorax. What it is called? Cephalothorax. Okay, so in other three classes, the head and thorax region is fused with each other and it is known as cephalothorax. But in case of class Insecta, the three segments of the body can be seen clearly. It's visible clearly. Okay, they have separate head, separate thorax, and separate abdomen. Fine. So in case of class Insecta, one pair of antennae is present, three pairs of legs are present, one or two pairs of wings are present. Then head, thorax, and abdomen can be clearly seen. Okay. Now when we talk about the breathing organ in class Insecta as well as in class Myriapod, they both class Insecta and class Myriapod, they have a small opening in the body, and that opening is known as spiracle. What it is called? Spiracle. So this class Insecta is having this spiracle at the tip of this abdomen here, on the ventral side of the body, lower side of the body, they have spiracle. So they take in air from spiracle, and then this air goes to the tracheal system. They have tracheal system inside. They have a single trachea. Okay, so air enters inside the body through spiracle and goes to the tracheal system, and then this trachea takes this air to different parts of the body. Fine. So the example of class Insecta is like moth, butterfly, mosquitoes, houseflies, silkworms, etc. So you might be already aware of different examples of insects. Okay, because you have come across many insects in your day-to-day life. I'll just let you know about this myriapods also. In myriapods, at the lower side of each segment, is having one or two spiracles. Okay, in the lower side of each segment, spiracles are present, and they take in air from there, and it gets connected to the tracheal system. Next class is class Arachnida. So here also you have to remember all these characteristics. If we talk about antenna, so you can see in the picture here, antenna is absent in class Arachnida. That means class Arachnida has no antenna. Antennas are absent in them. The best example of class Arachnida is spiders. So you have seen spiders at your home. Okay. So in spider, if you see, these spiders, they never have antenna. Second very important characteristics which you can easily remember is how many legs are present in spiders. There are 8 legs. 8 legs means 4 pairs of legs are present in spiders. Okay, so antenna is absent. They have 4 pairs of legs. Then the body segments is like, head and thorax are fused with each other, which is known as cephalothorax and abdomen. So what is present as body segments? Cephalothorax and abdomen. Okay, and the examples are spiders, ticks, scorpions, etc. Right? You can see here in this image, it's written here pedipalp. Pedipalp is nothing but actually they more or less work like antenna. They're not antennas, but they more or less work like antenna. They helps in, sensing any object which is present in front of a spider. Then they also helps in attacking the organism. And sometimes as male spiders, they also deliver sperms into female spiders with the help of this pedipalp. Last class is class crustaceans. Now the examples of crustaceans, some people you might be aware of because we eat crabs. So the best example of crustacean which you have seen in your day-to-day life is crab, prawns, or shrimps, lobsters, etc. Okay, so they have one very small pair of antenna. Okay, one small pair of antenna is present. Then they have more than 4 pairs of jointed appendages. Generally we take it as 5. So they have 5 pairs of jointed appendages. Okay, so how many pairs of jointed appendages are present? 5 pairs of jointed appendages, 1 pair of antenna, and their body is also actually divided into cephalothorax and abdomen. Head and thorax region is fused with each other, and that's known as cephalothorax. Here cephalothorax is not shown or not visible because it is covered under this large structure which is known as carapace. Okay, so what is the structure called? Carapace. Under carapace is present cephalothorax. Carapace actually helps in providing protection to the internal organs of the body. It's present like the hard exoskeleton, and it's having deposition of many calcium salts in it. Fine. So I hope these points all points about these 4 classes are clear to you. In next slide, this particular table is given where you can compare all the 4 classes of phylum Arthropoda based on these general features. Okay, if you just remember these this particular table alone and the general characteristics of phylum Arthropoda, that's enough for the exam point of view. Okay, so body segments we have already studied. In myriapods, only head and trunk is present. In insects, all 3 can be seen clearly: head, thorax, and abdomen. In arachnids, only cephalothorax and abdomen is present, and same goes to the crustacean also. Number of jointed appendages. In a myriapods, you have seen millipedes and centipedes. So in millipede, each segment of the organism has 2 pairs of jointed appendages, and in centipede, each segment of the organism has only 1 pair of jointed appendages. In insects, we have 3 pairs of jointed appendages. In arachnids, we have 4 pairs, and in crustaceans, we have 5 pairs of jointed appendages. Number of wings present. In myriapods, it is absent. In arachnids and crustaceans also, you have seen in the images, they are both absent. In insects, 2 pairs of wings are present. Okay, but out of those 2 pairs of wings, sometimes in some of the cases, 1 pair of wing is vestigial, that is, it's of no use. The number of antenna. Myriapods, they have 1 pair of antenna. Insects also have 1 pair of antenna. Arachnids, like a spider, antennas are completely absent, and in crustaceans we have 2 pairs of antenna. Breathing organs. In myriapods, spiracles are present, which is connected to the tracheal system. Same way in insects also, spiracles, that means small holes are present on the ventral side of the body from which air enters inside the body and gets connected to the tracheal system. Okay, and in arachnids and crustaceans, gills are present. So these gills actually helps in inhaling or exhaling the air. Fine. So just remember this table for comparing these 4 classes, and you have to remember this number of jointed appendages, antenna, and wings very clearly, because many questions are asked on phylum Arthropoda based on only these 3 features. Sometimes they might give you 3 or 4 pictures of the organisms, not pictures, just diagram of the organism, and they ask you to identify which out of these 4 is an insect or which out of these 4 is not an insect. Okay, so you have to remember that insect is always having head, thorax, and abdomen. Then it has 3 pairs of jointed appendages, 2 pairs of wings, or 1 pair of antennae is present. like that. So you based on these features, phylum, chordata, we will learning those diagrams. So only this much in this particular video. Rest about phylum, chordata, we will learning the next video. Thank you. Take care till then. Bye bye.